that is unheard of. Like, I feel like even until today, no one has been in a situation that Hazey has been in to sign a deal for like a really good amount with zero option. The money's good, like the money is, yeah, like, but having no option and no second song to do or whatever, no commitment after that one, that was like the golden ticket.
Our sponsors, for the perspective, Fireway Pizza are offering you guys 20% off using our discount code AD20. Use it today, man. Save money, be patterned. We got you. AD20, Fireway Pizza. Good evening, Memz. How you doing, my brother?
All good, brother. Thank you for having me today. Hope you're well.
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming. I've known you for maybe, was it like 3-4 years?
Yeah.
It's been a while, isn't it?
Well, I've known you for longer from watching what you got going on. Yeah, and then when, you put a face to the person behind the voice, really good to meet you, bro.
Nah, bro, love for coming through, man. First off, bro, like, again, I gotta get out the flowers, man. Gotta commend you on all the deals you've done at such a young age, man. I don't know too many people your age who've done as much as you've done. Like, so I guess the first part is like, when did you start getting into music management?
Well, like, if I want to start from the very, very beginning, it was more of a thing of helping out the talent that's around me. So with myself, I've not really been interested in the music scene on coming as a rapper, because everyone else at like a young age, they're thinking anything to do with music, they're straight away thinking, get behind the mic, or if you're not thinking behind the mic, you might be thinking to do production. Me, on the other hand, I would rather just see where I can fit in. And then what I was just doing instead is just with Zai at the time, when he first started, me and him, we're from the same area, and I can see that he wants to do music. So with myself, I feel like, okay, I don't really mind putting myself in situations where I talk to people or go on my phone, send out social media DMs or emails to just try and get the ball moving. And then from doing all of that kind of stuff, it just ended up taking off for him. And then at first, it was never a manager role. When someone first told me that, oh, like, what do you do for Zai, I said, oh, like, I do what I can. And then they then said, oh, so like, mention ways. I'll be like, okay, I send an email, I might talk on the behalf, might talk prices, etc. They'll be like, oh, so you're his manager. I'll be like, manager's a big word, like, you can't call me it. But then after a while, I started to have a ring to it, and I said, you know what, like, being someone's manager, it sounds pretty cool, and I just kept it going from there, and yeah, like, things just started to work out.
You are fearless, and people will know this. Like, we were at the YouTube event.
Yeah.
I was just leaving, innit? And then you were just walking past, and he just went up to someone, a beeline straight away, and I didn't clock who it was. Yeah. Who was it that he just went up?
It was Travis Scott. Yeah, look, Travis Scott walked in. As soon as I saw him, I thought, this is my chance, like, to go talk to him. And I'm thinking, the place where I am right now, I'm at a YouTube industry event. So with it being a YouTube industry event, in the UK, there's only 2 big events yearly, and that is the YouTube Legacy event and the GRM Gala. So anyone that's inside that event must be somewhat someone. So when Travis Scott walked in, rather than like coming across, if he saw me outside and I went up to him, yeah, fan, like, go away type. And then in that scenario, I went up to him and I just started telling him, oh, like, hope you're well, like, I'm Memz, I'm from the UK, I do music management. Like, who on your team, like, can I talk to and connect with? He looked at me, he took me in, he said, yeah, man, like, nice to meet you. He said, oh, like, talk to my mans over there. Bro. And then the person he put me towards to talk with, it was Larry Jackson, that is the founder of Gamma. I believe it's
Gamma. Yeah.
Gamma, yes, Gamma. So he's the founder of Gamma. And then with Larry Jackson, like, him hearing from Travis Scott to take me in, from there, like, he actually said, walk with me. He took my contact details, and then hopefully we get into business with each other in the future. But it's had to be done. If you see someone like Travis Scott, someone that you actually listen to and feel like you can connect with in any type of way, you might as well just shoot your shot, because you might get a no, or you might get taken in. I feel like if Travis Scott was to see me outside now, he'll remember me.
Yeah, you just went straight. Like, I just see you go, I was like, rah.
No, I wasn't letting that go.
You let that go. Bro, so being young, managing Zaza, when does the label interest get involved in? How do you know what to do in terms of like the deal situation when it's coming your way?
Yeah, so in the Zai scenario, it was a different time in the music industry. So back then, the way to become someone that the labels take notice of, you would have to have a track out, and by word of mouth and the streams and the YouTube views, started taking off is how you end up getting, you know, taken in by these guys. So at the time when Zai, he blew up, it was very early, like in I was in secondary school at the time. So hearing that all these stuff is going on, like it's really exciting. Like bear in mind, these times I'm not actually like his manager, but I'm his like supportive friend. So me seeing that my friend's dreams are about to come true, like there's a label, I don't even know what numbers they're talking yet. Like that was a whole next story, like when they started saying that was going on. But at the time, just being happy for my friend was a really good thing. And yeah, like it was just something that, it was a dream for us and it ended up happening, and yeah, like it was proper, bro.
So when he gets signed, when do you get involved in like the business of the label then?
Cool, so when he got involved, as mentioned, I'm in secondary school at the time, so I'm still having to go to school daily and do what I need to do, but there was like, you know, people that got added onto the team that also was like more in charge than me at the time, because I'm learning. I didn't go to music school. I didn't like have any intentions of being in the music industry. I'm just a supportive friend that is like able to learn things quite quickly as things go on. And I'd started watching a lot of like YouTube videos on how the music industry works, but that didn't really help. It's actually being in the situations that helped me be able to help him.
What kind of things did you have to like navigate?
Like at the time, it's very like simple. Okay, this studio session is going on. Let's go to the studio session. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you get everything done, and then report back to the wider team on what's going on. So it was very like on the Zai time when it came to looking after him, it was very much like learning, if that makes sense. It's after Zai that like my career started to have like a solid foundation in that.
Okay, so what after Zai, because obviously you ended up leaving the label.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting? Because anything that was new, I used to. Memz is on it.
Okay, so what happened that made like my career end up becoming more of a thing where I'm a manager rather than just like, you know, Zai's friend that just luckily got into music and helped out. And then yeah, like what happened for me is in the area I'm from an area that's Croydon, and then a very big problem that I was having at the time with Zai before like he got signed and them kind of stuff is when it comes to going to studio, the people in Croydon, the producers, and I feel like it might be like this everywhere, when it comes to them saying per hour, they mean it. Like when the time hits, you know, if you're coming to studio from 3 to 5, when it hits that 5, if you haven't said your final word, if you haven't got the final mix, it's done. Yeah, unless you got more money to kind of put towards the session, and a lot of young people don't. So what ended up happening is when money started coming into like our pockets and I was able to put something together, I made a charity-based studio, if that makes sense. So within my area, I came up with a concept with Funjo. So Funjo is like the producer that's behind all the talents that I work with now. He's Zai's cousin. He's been there throughout the whole like story from the beginning. What me and him decided to do is give people within the area and just everywhere else that have access to like talking with us to come down to a charity-based studio that rather than per hour, it's more like we give you a time slot. And the time slots that we gave was 1 to 5 and 6 to 10. So you'd have a 4-hour time slot to create a song, and then within 4 hours, you can make a solid song. You can make a song that's good enough, and then hopefully make something of yourself after that. And then from that studio, everything just started taking off. The boys that will come down, like I'm there to give them support on maybe what they might need because they wouldn't have a manager, and then I'm there to give them advice on what they, you know, like questions that they may have. Funjo's there to give them professional, you know, like support on the music. And then these guys will just put stuff on social media and it will explode, like come up to being serious tracks that now the whole music industry are chasing these guys. And the guys, like when they're getting hit up by these people, the person that they're thinking to contact and try help them in a situation is going to be like myself or Funjo, because we are the people that, you know, have gave them a space to do their stuff, and we're the ones that are shooting the advice over.
That's amazing. Talk to us about the Hazey Deal, like, because these are the things that I remember when I heard about it, I was like, no way did they get that, man. How did you even come across Hazey though?
So the Hazey Deal was it was a really cool situation, I'll be honest. Like, seeing anyone from an area such as like Liverpool, or even like, say, artists like Zai from Croydon, seeing anyone from a area that's not really like, you know, too prestigious in music to become someone, it's always like really heartwarming. So with the Hazey situation, what ended up happening, this comes back to Zai again. So Zai, if you guys think I'm good at social media and finding artists, that guy, yeah, like a lot of props has to go to him, because Hazey, for example, he put me onto him. So Zai, he's on TikTok and just looking at musician, and you see the For You page. Hazey's Black Box came about, and then you see with TikTok, what people look at is the curations as much as the views and the likes. So with Hazey, he was getting somewhat views, but it wasn't like exploded at the time, but he had zero, like honestly, zero curations on his sound. And then Zai messaged him and said, like, yo, like, you're hard, bro, like, let me, like, I'm gonna make a video to your thing. Zai made a video, and then I don't know how, because Zai, he's not big on TikTok like back in these days, especially because, yes, TikTok is a new thing. He made a video to Hazey's sound, and 2 days after, it became the biggest thing on social media. Like, everyone started making videos to Hazey's sound, from the Premier League all the way, and I think like what else was going on? There was a lot of like influencers such as Chunks and all them guys that labels will pay thousands of pounds to make a video to a sound. All these guys are just doing it organically, so Hazey's just super, super, super in the spotlight. And then from that, I used my connections and I was pitching him to labels and then seeing who's interested. And then Hazey himself, like if someone would like contact him, like Zai introduced me and Hazey together, so we're talking now like we're in the loop. And yeah, loads of things were just going on, and then he just ended up like signing a deal that was really good at the time. Like, it's something that was quite unheard of, but you know when there's something that's going really well on social media, you can ask for dumbness. Like, I'll be honest, like the numbers that we're talking and the terms, especially the term, because numbers are, some like Americans, they hit millions and millions of pounds, dollars throughout their record deals. But when it comes to terms, this is one song. Like, one song is what decided to, yeah, sign for Hazey, and he did it. He did that one song, and then it catapulted his career all the way up, and then that put him in a situation where he could become the person he is today.
No option.
No option. Could you imagine? That is unheard of. Like, I feel like even until today, no one has been in a situation that Hazey has been in to sign a deal for like a really good amount with zero option. The money's good. Like, the money is, yeah, like, but having no option and no second song to do or whatever, no commitment after that one, that was like the golden ticket at the time.
Was it, whose idea was it for the no option? Was it your idea? Was it? It was yours?
It was my idea. Like, the lawyer said it's not possible. The lawyer said, because like, of course, in negotiations and stuff, you would have to bring a lawyer on board. The lawyer was telling me, but this is a lawyer like, Jai from Brussels. We got to give, yeah, Jai from Brussels a shout out, because this lawyer, all the deals that I've done that always came up to a crazy like end game, he's been behind it, but he's always said, it's not happening. Like, nah, like this is not gonna happen. Just be settled at this. But then sometimes in these situations, you got to be like, you know, pushy. So when you're just talking to like the presidents yourself, and then you know what's going on in your conversation, you can hear the tone in the voice on the phone. You can see how frequently they're just spamming you and whatnot. So you can really start pushing buttons, and it just worked out. He done the one single, no option. He just signed it. I know he didn't want to. Like, you know, when you look at someone's eyes, he didn't want to do it, but he thought, if this is how I get the deal versus all my opponents at the, you know, other labels, I just have to do it. And then it just worked out for everyone.
When that happens, bro, then, because already you must have been known in the Sony building, right?
Yeah.
So did your past relationship with Zai help, like, when you're talking?
Yeah, of course, because like, so one way that a lot of people in the music industry know me, it's not really a thing now, but people like that I see sometimes, they do bring it up. Like, for example, you know, like there's like Dan, Shane, Lunik, they're the first people that I used to come across that are music execs at the time. Like, you know, doing their thing. They were doing publishing at the time, but they were guys that I always used to see, and I used to be in school uniform, because remember, like, when Zai got signed, I'm still in school, so after when school's finishing, okay, to make a meeting at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I can't go home and change into my gear. I have to just straight after school, get into the transport and come straight there. So people are seeing me in my uniform and like it sticks with people, you know? So then moving on from there to doing what I do now, I feel like for a lot of people there, like, I can't talk on people's behalf, but from like the conversations that I do have, a lot of people do seem like proud of the progression that I've made.
Bro, and that's bro, you've been on it from early. Tell us a bit about Prinz though, because Prinz is doing incredibly well as well. So
Prinz is my boy. You see Prinz, right? That is one brother that, like, anything he needs at any time, I'm there for him. Like, it's a bit.
That's all right. We'll just use that one. That's fine.
Yeah. So with Prinz, for example, like, he's one person I've got so much time for him. You know, like sometime when a manager would be like to an artist, okay, like, call me whenever, like, whatever time, like, talk to me about anything. They don't mean it half of the time, but that brother, he can call me any time of the day about any topic, and I'm always there for him. Reason being, because, like, the feeling is mutual, you know? Like, with Prinz, the way how me and him know each other, this is a really, really cool story, yeah? Sorry if I bore you with it, but it's a really, like, yeah, to me, it's a really, yeah, it's a proper one. So with Prinz, he messaged me on Instagram because with myself, like, I'd like to show people what I do with other musicians and put it on like social media platform because that's how like I will build my network. So Prinz, he's an artist that messaged me on socials, and with myself, I don't ignore artists. Like if you message me and if you're good, if you're bad, boy, girl, like from here, from there, wherever, I will always take the time out of my day to at least respond to your message and just like take in what you actually have to pitch to me, right? So Prinz, he came and messaged me saying that, oh, like, I'm an upcoming musician. I do like the lo-fi stuff. Like, I see that you get behind that quite often. Check out my music and then hopefully we might be able to work with each other. And then as mentioned, I replied to everyone, especially like, so obviously some people get different replies from each other, from others. But with Prinz, like, I heard it and I thought, okay, like, this is good with what he's doing. And I looked at his social media. He can really make something of himself if he keeps pushing. At the time, there wasn't exactly anything for me to do because he like has his setup at home. He's already recording his music. All he's got to do is keep putting content up. And I remember that like maybe 2 months after our conversation on Instagram, I'm doing what I do. I look through TikTok, looking, oh, what's going on in the world? I hear a song. Oh, this song sounds good. I swiped another, I hear the song again. I'm thinking, wait, hold on. I swiped again, I heard it again, bro. And I thought, wait, what is this song? It's Prinz. I said, oh, this brother's done it. He's actually, yeah, it's his time. So then I got in contact with him again and be like, oh, like your song, it wasn't moving on a crazy level, but it's moving enough for me to now be able to see where I can try, you know, project it. And then messaged him and then we got on the phone and he just was up for working straight away because he even mentioned to me that he messaged a lot of managers because there's a lot of people that, you know, put themselves online, and Prinz, he's like very smart when it comes to who is doing what, like he can see, you know? So he said, like, I messaged so many people and Memz, like, you're one of like the people that actually responded to me. So if you say let's work, I guess it's the right thing to do. And then from there, he just become the man he is today, and he's flied. Like with Prinz, one thing that people say about him is that he's one artist that has managed to become big on every platform. You know how artists will be maybe just big on TikTok or maybe big on Instagram? What Prinz has done, like what a lot of people will say to me like at these like buildings and whatnot, he's managed to build a foundation on every single, from YouTube to Insta, even Facebook. Like if you go on Facebook, that brother's got followers, you know? Like he's actually got a proper fan base on Facebook because what he does, he just understands the power of marketing. If you put yourself everywhere, then you've got more of a chance to reach heights.
How many subscribers has he got? Is that right?
On YouTube, he's got, I believe, like 1.23 million now. But it's shorts. Like when it comes to shorts, that's something that he's really done his thing on. Like he will make separate videos for shorts than it's like TikTok, because a lot of people might make a TikTok and then post it on shorts and Instagram. But with Prinz, like that guy, he doesn't run out of ideas when it comes to social media. So he'll make different videos all on the same day for different platforms, and he'll just post it one by one, and then fingers crossed it goes well. And luckily for him, his content is quality, and people do really like you know, stick to it.
And what, on TikTok, how many followers?
He's on 2 million now on TikTok.
So 2 million on TikTok.
Yeah, 1.2 like on subscribers. You see, like subscribers is something that it's very hard to grow unless
Yeah.
you're an actual like day-to-day vlogger. You're posting videos like every 2 days, etc. That's how to grow a fan base on YouTube. But being a musician and having over 1 million subscribers, like that's serious. And then when Prinz got his 1 million subscribers and we went to YouTube and he was talking to them and he got his golden plaque, he said, like, guys, I hope you know Memz needs a golden plaque himself. And then luckily for me, like, they gave me one, and yeah, I got one big gold 1 million follower plaque on my,
And
Hall of Fame.
And he's still studying it. He's still sticking with
Prinz literally just like about 3 weeks ago, he finished education. So during the whole time that he was, you know, like on the come up and having big label meetings and being on the phone to all types of A&Rs, like from different countries even, because his thing became global, he was doing all of this while being in the education system. But he literally finished about 3 weeks ago, so hopefully now Prinz, that he has all the time in the world to just focus on music, he just becomes the artist that we all believe he can.
How many streams has he got on his songs?
So his biggest, one thing with Prinz, another thing that's really cool about him, so in the TikTok era, it's like a lot of artists are, sorry to say the word, but there's like a curse out there, right? That you might have one hit and then you might, maybe at a push, depending on how big your first one is, you might end up having 2 hits in a row. But it's very, very rare, but some people do it. But no one moves on to a third. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, going on to a third, you would have to take a couple L's first and then grow your fan base a bit more. And then you might have your third big record, but after you drop like a few records beforehand. But with Prinz, he went from the first record that he had, that was Peter Pan, with Lilz, I believe it's on like 35 million now. So that was a big record. That was his first, and that's like what got him like signed and whatnot. But then his second record was Beautiful Day. And then with the Beautiful Day record, that's now gone higher than the original record that was on like 30 odd million. Beautiful Day is on 50 plus million. So that was like, okay, cool, you broke the, you're part of the 2 system, like big music record, big songs, etc. But then now the third was like, is it gonna happen? All eyes on Prinz at the time. I remember even myself, like, I was sweating thinking, is Prinz gonna be that guy? Like, is he gonna be the person to break the system? He came with Highs and Lows. Highs and Lows is now the record that got him charting. It's on like 70 million now today as we speak. The song just went absolutely crazy. And then the best thing that I feel like we've done at the time as well, Prinz, he's like part of the children audience too, right? So there's only a few other musicians that have got that audience on lock. And then we thought to ourselves, how does Prinz become in like that ball game a lot more like stronger, right? So on a remix, we pulled in A1 and J1. A1 and J1 are the boys that have broken the internet numerous times. And with them doing it and then having such a core fan base when it comes to the younger audience, them now connecting with Prinz, like helped Prinz become like, 1, solidified in the music industry, and 2, like the audience think, okay, like you've done a song with our heroes, like you're now our hero too.
That's incredible. Bro, so that's what there's a Prinz deal. So either deal you was too young when you was observing. Hazey Deal was a crazy one. And then how involved were you within Pozer's Deal?
Okay. So like one thing that I manage musicians, like that is like my go-to thing to do. But where I can help other musicians.
You broker deals, right?
Yeah, exactly. So doing A&Ring where I can, because a lot of the time I would prefer to manage the musicians, but sometimes they do have a team already, and like stepping on toes is never a thing. I would rather work with people and get them to a decent situation. So all the musicians that I've worked, well, not all of them, but the majority I've worked with, they've all gone to this label called Robots and Humans. And that's not because of me, it's because when an artist blows up, I give every single one of like my music peers a chance. I'll bring the artist to your office, you can pitch, you can talk on the phone, you can do whatever you wish, but then the artist at the end of the day will pick who to go with. But with the Robots and Humans, they've got a system that really helps musicians stream and become in the public eye, which every musician of today's era need. So yeah, like with the Pozer situation, I saw his stuff, and he's from where I'm from, he's from Croydon. And then seeing like his numbers grow and do all that good stuff, and knowing that, okay, like I've now connected with his manager's a cool guy, he's from like the same area, and he's learning as I was when I first started. So what I decided to do to help out is be able to show this to my people at Robots and Humans. And then these guys, like, they're very screwed on. Like, if we talk about an artist, they don't push it to the side and be like, oh, like, not really sure, don't think so. They actually have an open mind to it, and they decided to, yeah, like, get on a call with the manager and talk and see where they can, you know, do things. And then Pozer's stuff just ended up going super viral. But then the good thing is that with the Robots, they are the people that spoke to him prior to the crazy, you know, like, viral moment. So when it came to him picking his options, like, Robots and Humans was really up there when it came to, yeah, like, who to sign to. And he's been with them, and ever since that Kitchen Stove record he's released, he's just been on a roll. Like, as we all know, Pozer right now, he is the new, you know, rap star of the UK. And being a new rap, like, you need to break a lot of doors to be given that title. But Pozer, he's got that, and hopefully him and his team just carry on striving to the top.
That's amazing. Is there any other deals that you've worked on or broken?
One that I really enjoyed, like, that I'm gonna talk to my kids about this one, is the Lilz deal. So when Lilz done Glad You Came, that record deal was one that you wouldn't think it would go the way it did, but all right, let me start with this one. So Lilz, he's an artist that I've now seen online do his thing, and then his one is actually going viral. So it was now competitive. Like, me and a whole lot of other managers are reaching out to Lilz because he's got a really booming sound online. And then luckily for me, like, Lilz ended up like liking the approach and the relationship that I built with him. So he decided to work with me. And then at the time I was thinking, what do we do in this deal? Like, sorry, not the deal. What do we do to this song to make it a bit more, like, exotic at the time? And I thought, you know what, like, Zai, he's part of my roster. Zai's someone that had numerous hits, but this new TikTok era isn't really, like, he's not, like, Zai blew up the same time Young Bane, Notes, Gecko, etc. all blew up. This was all prior to TikTok. So now that it's a TikTok record, I'm thinking, okay, so what Lilz can do to be taken more seriously is have Zai on the record, and then what can be done for Zai, like, in return, is that this is now the TikTok audience that, you know, like, will become a part of your fan base moving forward. They done the record, it got signed, it was doing really, really good, and then after a while, what happened is that the song started to become a bit of a meme because of Lilz's part of, like, sampling The Wanted. So The Wanted, that went #1 all over the globe with their, I believe, was it called Glad You Came as well? Yeah, so The Wanted song was called Glad You Came too. Like, people started making memes of it, right? And then it became a bit confusing. Like, now the song, it's a bit of a jokey song, and I don't want that for any of my artists. Like, Lilz was in school at the time as well, and he was calling me saying, oh, like, it's a bit awkward, like, people are looking at me, and it's like, at once they were praising my music, now it's a bit more, oh, like, it's Lilz, like, laughy, etc. And I thought, this is not happening, not for one of my artists. So I spoke with the team, because at the time, remember, he signed to the label. So with him being signed to the label, we can think, as a team, we can think of an alternative how to fix this. And this was when I thought to myself, yeah, like, if I'm not going to be a music manager no more, if I don't want to do A&R, someone needs to give me a job in the marketing department. Brother, this is what I came up with. I said, what is one thing no one can laugh at? Anyone. Like, no matter what's going on, what can you not laugh at? And then the answer to that was pretty girls. So I thought to myself, okay, yeah, I'm getting somewhere with this. I got every single pretty girl, influencer, normal, model, whatever, like, anyone I could reach out to make a video to that sound. I did it. They all made videos, and, like, it started getting numbers, and a lot of the haters are looking and thinking, rah, like, this song's a meme, like, why are you, like, making a video to it, etc. But then you can't hate towards females, right? So what ended up happening, people now started to like this, oh, it's actually quite vibey, and then Central C spoke about it. Central C made a TikTok video just, like, basically talking about the record, right? And then that went viral, it just gave, like, Lilz another wave of hype. And then Santan Dave ended up doing a video. So with Lilz being now, like, in the public eye, of like seeing all these girls making videos to his stuff. Oh, his song was quite laughy, but now it might be quite vibey. To then Central C talking about it, to then Dave making a whole, if you see Dave's TikTok, right? Like, I don't know where in the screen we can put Dave's TikTok, but Dave's TikTok was like, he's flexing to it. Like, he's actually no top on in the mirror, video out, putting his, like he's flexing to the song. It just made Lilz's career just shoot up so high. And then Lilz, like, I used the same formula that I done with the Lilz and Zai, to then now when Prinz first came about, remember when Prinz's first record was Peter Pan, now that Lilz, he is the man. Like, no one has no talks for Lilz. Like, he is that guy in, like, you know, the social media world. When Prinz had his record, I said, who better to get on it than Lilz? And then that just, ended up just, all, you know, the puzzle just came together quite well.
That's amazing. That's just a great sense. Tell us about what it's like, we spoke about off the camera, about lessons. Like, what have you learned now? How many years? Was it 5, 6 years?
Yeah,
At 21?
We don't keep count no more. We just live life as it goes. Let me think. Like, a lesson I feel like is that you should always put your like team's thoughts into place. Like, for example, me being a manager. So like, as we know, like in a team, in an artist team, it goes the artist, goes the manager, then everyone else. I feel like one thing that should, like a lesson that I've learned during my career is taking everyone else's thoughts into consideration. Because there was like times that I was doing everything and it was just always going correctly and there was no like flaws about it at all. But then there's been times that I might be being given advice from other people in the team and then I didn't take it and then like bring it towards the artist and then try like listen to what maybe they had to say and then it didn't go the correct way. Whether like if I maybe listened to this person's advice or for example like their thought process towards a scenario, if we maybe handled it differently and you know like took everyone's thoughts and stuff into consideration rather than just taking it straight to like myself or the artist to just come up with the final like executive decision, things could have gone a bit differently in certain situations. But I've learned that now and then I'm always happy to just hear everyone's perspective on the situation. I'll even call people outside the music industry sometimes just like a consumer and explain a scenario that I might be going through and what they think might need to happen to, you know, like flip the script.
And what about like dealing with people in the industry though? How do you find that, man? Are you lot brethren?
Yeah, like you see with people within the music industry, it's like school, if that makes sense. Like you got your batch, you got the people that you might go play football with, you'll like do activities, you'll talk to them about like things outside the industry. But then there's just people that you're in the classroom with, like you all are doing the same homework and you guys are all like just trying to get the grade that you're trying to get. So within the music industry, there's no one that I dislike. Hopefully there's no one that dislikes me. And I just believe we're all just doing what we can to, you know, create a living for ourselves and our families.
Talk about when you have something hot that everyone wants to have an interest in, when it's not, they kind of like go missing.
It's an adrenaline booster, to be honest. Like, see, in music, one thing for me, like, there was a time, and like it still goes on, and hopefully it carries on. Like keep going. It's 1 in a million, but I don't know why. Now, having something hot, like a hot record that everyone's interested in, is 1 in a million. Like it rarely happens, and like thank willing for like the people that I work with. They're just always pushing themselves and trying to like go viral online and stuff. So when you've got that product and your phone's just ringing and then ringing, like it's like. Now you gotta put your leg up and then you gotta, okay, so what are we talking now? Like, what can be done, what cannot be done? And then with myself, if a label comes in contact and it's maybe not a Sony or Universal, even if they're an independent label, I still will give them the time of day to speak with a musician because distributions right now are really taking off. Like the distribution system is something that a lot of artists are more like happy to sign with than labels because it comes to a situation where you might own your stuff like forever without it being any complication. Because with music, like we all talk about recouping and all that stuff, but once you recoup, like you're still not in like it's still not happy days exactly. Like having that song, you still can't really do what you want to do with it. Like there's still things to do, etc. But when you go down like the distribution route, there is like a lot more leeway to be your own like product, you know? Like you can do whatever with the song without someone really saying something to you. But with labels, it does come with a bit more complications. However, like labels, distributions, independents, we love them all. Like whoever is happy to help an artist like become who they want to be, I'm always happy for a conversation.
All right, so in closing, bro, what advice would you give to artists today trying to get on in music, and then what advice would you give to like managers about how to navigate the music business?
Okay, so with like managers, what I would say is that so with a manager, being someone's manager is a really big deal. Like it's becoming a part of someone's life. So say for example, say if you was a musician and then I was just your mate and I became your manager tomorrow, for 3-4 years, your loyalty is gonna stick with me because you're thinking, yeah, like you're my friend. Maybe whoever comes into the book, like, nah, you're my manager. Like you are the person that is gonna help me grow and et cetera, et cetera. However, I'm not experienced. Bear in mind, like we're just school friends, like just talking like in that perspective. So now your career is not striving the way it should because you're putting like your like respect and loyalty towards your mate rather than someone that is a music mogul at the time. So if with every single music manager that is upcoming and wanna like really take over, I say the first thing you do is try to become part of a music management company collective. So when you're talking to people and artists about being a part of your management, you're not talking about, oh, like, yeah, I just know this guy, I got money for a studio. Like having that pitch isn't good enough, you know? Like being able to say that you work at a music management company, it would have saved me so many times. Me personally, the way how like I came up, if I had mentors and a bigger team around me that could really like, yeah, like help me to avoid certain problems and maybe like someone coming and stealing your artist, because that stuff happens like quite frequently. Like people actually will come and talk to your artist and be like, yo, like I manage XYZ, why are you with this guy when I could take you to, you know what I mean? So it happens, but if you're part of a strong management foundation and you're learning, then you're able to have a much better chance of like becoming one, like knowledgeable manager, and two, a manager that an artist wants to stick with. So that's like the advice towards managers. With artists, is a difficult one because every artist, depending on the music genre you're in, it's all different because, yeah, like, it's a complicated one with musicians, but this is quite cliche and it's probably been said a million times in all types of interviews, but just keep putting yourself out there. Like, there's no harm in going on a stage and presenting yourself as an upcoming musician. There's no harm in making a TikTok, taking an Instagram. Just do all that stuff without thinking about the negatives and just think more about who is going to see this. It might not go viral. Not everything goes viral. Like, as mentioned earlier, it's a 1 in a million chance, but someone might see it that is interested and that can help you elevate from where you are, like, at that current standpoint.
Memz, I'm gonna leave it there. But what I will say, Memz is the guy that whenever Memz has got something popping, Memz is calling my phone. Like Memz is active. And like you got a serious drive, bro. But my last actual question to you is, so what do you want to do in the music industry now, though? Like, what do you actually want to do? Like, if you could just pick anything, like, what would it be?
So if I was to do something like right now, moving forward in the music industry, is more like I want to be able to be more in a like situation where I can come and show you a musician that has 0 followers, 0 everything, just like the olden days. Yeah, this happened in the olden days. Like a lot of like people in the music industry that are seniors, they tell me that this is something that used to happen. I want to be able to go and just show people I believe in this. I feel like this is going to be the next big thing, and for people to just actually back it, because I felt like after all of these like TikTok hits and stuff coming about, that would be where I would be at my career right now. But still, like, I would present something to someone, they'll be like, oh, but it's not got 1 million views. But it's like, what do you mean it's not got 1 million? Like, it's not supposed to. It's like, you know, time, it's gonna come. The 1 million views will come, but let's get behind this artist from now. Let's put them at some stages. Let's connect them with some artists. Let's put them in some event spaces. Let's just really push this artist. That's one thing that, like, is next for me. Like, I just hope that I carry on striving with what I do, and then people just start taking that approach towards me just a lot more serious.